Brad, how do you identify when you're going into a fixed mindset and then you get yourself out?
If you feel comfortable, you probably are getting complacent. You're probably adapting to a fixed mindset. If you feel like you wake up on Monday and you know exactly what's going to happen through the week, you know exactly what your schedule says, and there's nothing that's catching you off guard, well, it's time to introduce some uncertainty.
A lot of times when people are hit with change, it crushes them and they can't get back up. How did you use it as a way to inspire you?
I don't know if any of you have heard the concept of an alive day, but a lot of the wounded veteran community talk about the day that we got injured as our alive days. I could have died that day, and I didn't. It's my alive day. I celebrate the fact that I'm still alive. And I think you really just have to go back to putting things in perspective and flipping it around on itself. Instead of thinking, oh, the world is imploding, and I've got all these deadlines, and I've got all this stuff, and I got to pay the bills, and all that sort of stuff, just break it down real simple. What do you have? You have this moment and the next 30 seconds. And what's great about this moment? For me, I use this, I call it an anchor thought, something that will just like really nest a positive thing in your head. And I love coffee. So anytime I'm like really, really frustrated, it's like, let me just sit, have a cup of coffee, and just do the cup of coffee for a second. And then take on another challenge, and then take on another challenge, and then take on another challenge, and just kind of work your way back up. Nobody can do it all at once. You can do the next step, though, and that's not so hard. And then you can do the next step, and that's not so hard. And then you just keep working your way there, and then all of a sudden, you look around, and you've done something remarkable. Yeah. You've climbed a mountain. You've won a gold medal. You've done something, but you didn't do it all at once. You did it one step at a time.
I want to stay on perspective one more time. You write in the book around something called the delta. Can you explain to our teammates, what is the delta?
The delta is what I thought was just this clever way of maintaining a certain perspective. I had this realization when I was blind that many of my most, when I got red-faced, when I got really frustrated, it would be things like I was trying to do the dishes and I broke another dish, or I hit my head on a cupboard. And I realized one of the things that made me the most frustrated was that this didn't used to be a struggle. Like washing the dishes didn't used to be hard for me, and now it is, and that frustrates me. Is that a worthwhile thought? Not really, because it's not the fact that the task itself is frustrating me, it's that I wish it was different. I wish it was the way it was before, or I wish it was better. And I realize the frustration comes from that delta, the difference between the way things are and the way I want things to be. And I actually I reflected on that concept a lot, and I realized most of our frustrations are exactly that. There's a difference between the way things are and the way we want things to be. Control what you can control and completely let go of the things you can't control. And that sounds really easy and really cliche, but it actually is very challenging in the moment, because we get tied up on consequences, we get tied up on the future, we get tied up on projections and all that sort of stuff. But if you can find a way to allow that concept to guide you, it can give you a lot of calm and a lot of poise in the moment. Control what you can control and let go of what you can't. That's what the delta is all about.
I wanted Brad to be here for 3 reasons. I want you to understand the why. Number 1, thriving through change can be a good thing. Number 2, whenever you think you've had a bad day or a rough day, remember someone's out there taking it to change and not waiting for it to happen. And number 3, what you do every day really, really matters. Can we thank Brad one more time?
Thank you, guys.